And our tickets are much cheaper, I believe. I hope you don't mind me saying that. So, Prem, would you like to introduce a one book a month?
Right. Okay. Our one book a month this time is Curiosity by Ian Leslie. And that's going to be covered by our second time speaker on this one book a month series, Avni Balan. And if you haven't noticed, we share same surname, and she is my lovely first daughter.
Hello.
Thank you, Avni, for being here. And she had to miss her quiet today to be here. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Go on. What would you like to say about the book?
It's a really good book. It's kind of like a documentary about curiosity and how it's developed, the history of it, how it's developed over the ages, and how it's used or how it's not being used in schools and universities. It's filled with plenty of examples ranging from like the success of Walt Disney to Aristotle. It's a really good non-fictional read. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, fire away.
What's the takeaway from the book?
The main takeaway. There's a lot of things to learn from this book. It talks about how to stay curious and how to fester curiosity. It's kind of written for fun, I feel like. But regardless, it's still really interesting to read. And
that's okay if there isn't anything jumping out as your exciting takeaway for yourself.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good stuff. It's hard to pick out one.
Yeah, I remember when when we both were discussing about this book, you were talking about something you learned new about the word curiosity itself, or the concept curiosity itself, that there are different types of curiosity.
Oh yeah, there's diversive curiosity, which is just like random. It's the kind of curiosity that distracts us and like leads us on like a rabbit hole of web page links. It's the desire for like novelty and new things. And it's what a lot of young toddlers have when they're like running around everywhere, eating dirt, playing with toys, all that kind of stuff. And then there's epistemic curiosity, which is basically like developing on diversive curiosity. It's when it's the more effortful but also more fruitful kind of curiosity, when you want to explore something more, like and it's the kind of curiosity present in I guess like more higher end people, like or just adults like historians, engineers,
scientists. Yeah. The difference is that the latter is about very focused on one particular thing and curious to figure out until they are satisfied, without no matter what the distractions around them are. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason that the reason that a lot of kids are that a lot of people are very, very curious as kids, but it may not be maintained as you grow up, is because it needs to be that change from diversive curiosity to epistemic curiosity. Because when you're a kid, everything is new to you, like chairs and bread, grass, everything. But of course, when you're an adult, you know most things. So unless you like invest in epistemic curiosity and like put an effort into something interesting, everything's kind of boring at that stage, and you stop asking questions because you feel like you know everything there is to know on the surface level.
That's very interesting. Yeah, thank you. Any other question from?
Yeah, I just got a thought about that, which maybe is that maybe in certain areas of life, especially in work, maybe people sometimes get discouraged from being curious because maybe there's no reward for it, or maybe sometimes they might even get, you know, the opposite. I mean, I remember once actually when I was like working at a company, I felt quite stifled with what I was doing, and I took this and I said, can I do that? And someone said, yes, you can do that. And so I did, and then some of the other secretaries complained because I was doing their work. so you know what I mean, maybe in certain areas, I'm not going to, you know, say civil service because I don't know, but you know, maybe that's, you know, part of the problem. It's, you know, it's sort of institutionalized, goes against institutions, go against it sometimes. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's one of the things. The thing about curiosity is that you shouldn't really do it for a reward, because then it's just work. And instead you do it for pleasure. In this book, it said it's one of the things that makes humans different from apes. It's that we just learn things for fun. And another thing is like what you said about getting distracted, is curiosity shouldn't like drive us, or also curiosity shouldn't drive us 24/7. We should like allow it to thrive where we have the time and when we can put in the effort. So yeah.
That's profound. Any other question?
What was the book like to actually read? Was it something that was easy to pick up and read in a few sessions, or did it feel difficult to get through?
Well, to actually pick up the book, it was hard to remember. But once I started reading, I was stuck in. It's a brilliant read, but it might just be because I don't have time. I'm not sure. One of the things about the way it was written is that it's loaded with examples, and also and like some self accounts, and that's one of the things that makes it really good to read, because then you can link these examples to like these specific ideas, and it's also got a lot of like quotes from people that he's interviewed or famous people. But it also, to some extent, it almost, not much, but almost has too many examples where like there's a lot of things on like just like over a couple pages. There's like loads of things being referenced. But it is really nice when he like tells a story about how curiosity can affect someone or something or a society. So yeah.
That's very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stephen's got his hand up.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure of the format, whether that was the right thing to do or not. So do you feel that sometimes people fail to act upon their curiosity due to the fear of the unknown?
I don't. I feel like yes, but sometimes the fear, that fear can be excitement, which is what drives other people. And I don't really think it's fear. Maybe it is, but like kind of a bit of resentment against like, oh, there's some stuff I don't know. But of course, if you don't, it says that if you don't know too much, then you just feel horribly unmotivated to learn anything at all. But if there's like just a little bit that you don't know, it is just that little drive, like, oh, what's this here? And it doesn't feel like much of a chore. So yeah.
Thank you. Any other question?
Was there anything in the book which you recognized in yourself, in your own curiosity, and went, oh yeah, I know that's me, or did it all feel like it was for other people?
It mentioned about how curious people make like a lot of links to other sources of information, and the more links they make, the like it strengthens your understanding of the thing itself. And I know that like sometimes we'll be learning about like a poem there's. Do you mind if I give an example, actually?
Yeah, go for it.
A couple weeks ago in English, we were learning about a poem called Ozymandias. I don't know if you've heard of it. And I remember, and there was this animator who animated a video to a telling of Ozymandias, and I was like, oh, I remember that. There are probably better examples out there, but
my favorite poem of time.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you made the connections between the two things that drove more curiosity.
Yeah, and also the animation itself was to the telling of something else and like its own interpretation of Ozymandias, and I kind of a bit use that for my interpretation of Ozymandias.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
How is that linked to curiosity, Avni? It's okay.
It's what the book said.
It's what the book said. Okay.
Yeah. When you learn something new, it won't feel completely foreign, and you won't feel like you're being thrust into the unknown completely. So there's that sense of familiarity, like guiding you along, but also that sense of novelty, like urging you forward. So yeah.
Did the book mention if there's any downsides to having that curiosity?
Yeah. In the afterword, there was a story about some guy, I don't remember his name, Biani or something. He was out sailing and he was looking for somewhere, and he came across a random like jungle, and his crew urged him to follow forward, but he didn't. He had to like follow through with it and explore the place, but he didn't. He just left the place and then found his destination, and then I think that was Red India or like South America that he accidentally stumbled upon. But to curiosity, of course, can lead to distractions like that, and it can. And if you just follow curiosity all the time, it can be hard to stick to a specific goal. Especially if you follow through with those distractions. But sometimes if you're not like in the process of following through with something, then it can be useful. And yeah.
Did it, sorry, I feel like I'm asking all loads of questions. Did it give any insights into how to make other people curious?
Other people?
Yeah.
It said how to fester curiosity for yourself.
Okay.
It didn't say anything about other people. Do you mean like inspiring other people?
Yeah, and getting them curious in a particular area or particular book or something that, hey, how do I get that curiosity and give it to someone else?
I'm not sure if it didn't mention that. It said, it kind of talked about curiosity, about like it would lead you in its own time, kind of give it the space to grow and thrive. And you can't really, I don't think you can really like tell someone, go be interested in that. Because
how to fester for yourself, Avni?
Pardon?
How to fester curiosity for yourself then?
It was it talked about, it's not really a simple like, here you go, here's my how to be curious
formula.
journal. It was you have, one of the things though is, of course, to like invest effort into the things you're curious about, which I've mentioned before. One interesting thing it said, I remember, it said, forage like a foxhog. There was a story, might have been Aesop's, one of Aesop's fables, about the fox. The fox likes to learn many new techniques to hunt and likes to play around with them. But the hedgehog has one specific technique, which is to just run into it with its spikes bled. So you should like explore different areas, but you should also develop one specific area a lot, if you want to stay interested in it. Otherwise you'll just like be wasting your energy on like all these different techniques, and you'll never really stick to them or learn anything about them.
That's very good.
Yeah. I've got one last question. So you mentioned that the book had got lots of examples in, and you weren't keen on having so many examples. Was there anything else that you didn't like that was in the book?
I'm not quite sure. It was a really good book. I was going to say something.
Shall I add?
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah. So, is it something your mommy constantly asking you to? Have you read the Curiosity book that you didn't quite?
I have.
That was the worst thing, was it? Your mom asking all the time, have you read it yet? Have you read it?
Listen, okay. When I do read it, I will read it for hours on end. It's a really good book when I read it.
Right.
When I pick it up and open it, I really like it. But when it's like on the shelf, I and there's my phone on the table, like, what am I gonna choose?
Fair enough. Cool.
How long will it take for any person who is picking up the book, new, fresh?
I'm not sure. Because my experience was, I think, like 3 weeks, maybe a bit longer than that. I'm not sure how others would fare with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I found the book.
Yeah. Is it that you have to allocate time after your school and clubs and all that? Pretty similar to how adults are now with their work life and the family, and allocate time for reading, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty, you can so straightforward equate to an adult reading time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Avni. Yeah. Terence has got one last question. Go for it.
I was going to ask, where do you get it from? And is it available on Amazon or?
I don't remember. I think it is available on Amazon. Yeah, it's also on the Kindle. So
cool. So I just like everyone to put their hands together, come off mute, give Avni a round of applause for the book review. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Avni.
Well done.
You are free to go and enjoy your rest of the evening, or you can stick around and watch your mommy talk. No.
Your mom releases you. Okay, Prem, it's over to you.
Yeah, cool. I might stay actually.
Oh, okay. No worries.